Hello teachers, learners, and parents. Sir Jeff po, at your service. Alam nyo ba na meron tayong website na tinatawag na DepEd Commons? Ang DepEd Commons ay binuo upang gawing accessible ang pagtuturo at pag-aaral dito sa ating bansa gamit lamang ang inyong mga smart devices gaya ng cellphones, tablets, at computers. Dito ay maaari nating ma-access ang iba't ibang learning materials mula sa Department of Education. Meron itong mga interactive materials, electronic self-learning modules, at instructional video lessons mula sa DepEd TV na tiyak na makatutulong sa pag-aaral ng mga mag-aaral galing ka man sa public o private school. Walang problema dahil welcome ang lahat dito. Para ito sa mga guro, magulang at mga mag-aaral mula sa kinder hanggang grade 12, alternative learning system o ALS, at pati na rin ang special education. At huwag kang mag-alala dahil kahit walang load ay maaari mong ma-access ang mga learning materials. Tama! Libre ito. Ang kailangan mo lamang gawin ay i-on ang iyong data at buksan lamang ang iyong browser at i-type ang commons.deped.gov.ph. Alam na ba ng iyong mga kasamahang guro o mag-aral ang tungkol sa DepEd Commons? I-share mo na ang video na ito upang matuto rin sila kung paano gagamitin ang DepEd Commons sa mabilis at napakadaling paraan. Muli, ito po si Sir Jeff at kita-kits po tayo sa DepEd Commons. Paalam!
Magandang araw! Sir Wilbur po, at your service. Narito ang ETUlay upang gabayan ka sa inyong pag-aaral upang lubos na maunawaan ang iba't ibang paksa o subject. Ang ETUlay ay isang free online tutorial class na pinangungunahan ng DepEd Educational Technology Unit sa pamumuno ni Undersecretary Elaine Del B. Pascua. Ang programang ito ay hindi lamang para sa mga bata, kundi ito rin ay magsisilbing gabay sa mga magulang at mga guro kung paano nila ituturo o gagabayan sa bawat asignatura ang kanilang mga anak o mga estudyante. Sa kasalukuyan, ang self-learning module mula sa rehiyon ng Calabarzon at kilala sa tawag na pivot ang ginagamit sa ating ETUlay online class. Kaya ano pang hinihintay ninyo? Ihanda na ang inyong mga ballpen o lapis, papel o kwaderno at samahan kaming itulay ang pagkatuto para sa bawat batang Pilipino. Sama-sama tayong magtutulungan para malampasan ang mga hamon sa panahong ito. Halina't matuto kasama ang inyong online tutor sa oras na ito.
Ayan, magandang hapon po sa lahat ng mga nanonood ngayong hapon. Matalino Friday para po sa ating ETUlay online tutorial ngayong hapon. Ako po si Tutor Joshua. Ako po ang inyong magiging grade 8 tutor for this week. Nakakakalahati na po tayo for the 4th quarter at matatapos na po yung ating school year. So ngayon po, itutuloy po natin. Ito po ang last lesson for geometry ng Mathematics 8 on the conditions for parallel and perpendicular lines. Pero wag niyo pong kakalimutan itong lesson na ito dahil yung isa sa mga lessons ng grade 9 geometry ay dito huhugutin sa parallel and perpendicular lines. So batiin po muna natin yung mga nanonood. Good afternoon po kay Rayleigh San Juan. And good afternoon din kay Rian Antoinette Barrientos from Dr. Ramon De Santos National High School. Pati rin kay Bianca Claire Alvaro ng Porac National High School ng Grade 8 Fascination. Good afternoon po. Pati na rin kay Jenny Jean Formilias Bernal at Catherine Puri ng Porac National High School Grade 8 Fascination. Then kasama siya ni Bianca Alvaro. Ayan po, no? So, ulitin ko po, ito yung ating last lesson para sa sukgisan or geometry for grade 8. Pero yung matututunan nyo po rito ay applicable pa rin hanggang pagdating nyo ng grade 10 dahil yung geometry natin will still deal with parallel and perpendicular lines, especially sa grade 9 kasi pupunta tayo dyan sa quadrilaterals. And we have special quadrilaterals na merong parallel and perpendicular sides or segments. So, ayan. So, for today, okay, the objectives would be to determine the conditions under which lines and segments are parallel and perpendicular. So, hindi lang yung lines ang pwedeng maging parallel or perpendicular. Basta subset ng line o parte ng line, pwede silang maging parallel or perpendicular. Mamaya i-define natin yan as a recall. And then, as practice, hindi naman syempre dapat na konsepto lang ang natututunan natin sa math. Pati yung pag-solve at pag-apply ng konsepto na yon sa pag-solve ng problems involving the topic ay yung importanteng skill na natututunan at nagagawa natin. So huwag kayong mag-alala kung ito ay malimutan nyo bigla na pagdating natin ng grade 9 dahil kasi medyo matagal din yung magiging proseso or magiging agwat ng geometry ulit pagdating natin ng grade 9, tandaan lang po natin na itong episode na ito ay available sa ating DepEd YouTube channel, pati na rin po sa DepEd ETU Facebook page ng ETUlay online tutorial. So let's start. So mabilis na recall lang tayo. Parallel lines, alam nyo na ito. Parallel lines are lines on the same plane. Ito yung laging nalilimutan natin when we define parallel lines. Alam lang kasi natin, or sinasabi lagi natin na parallel lines do not intersect. Characteristic niya yun. Pero the exact definition should be, these are lines are on the same plane and they do not intersect. Kailangan coplanar yung lines. Kung nakikita nyo rito sa ating illustration, no? Ayan. Kung nakikita nyo, nasa isang plane yung dalawang lines natin. Kasi, there are certain lines na do not intersect. Pero, they are not on the same plane. Kung titignan natin yung nasa box or yung edges ng box, they do not intersect at a certain point. Pero, they are not on the same plane. Okay? So, there are instances na hindi na kailangan kompleto yung definition natin. And also, we have what we call the parallel line postulate or the parallel postulate. Ito ay for Euclidean geometry, specific yung sinasabi natin dito. Okay? Ano yung specific na mahaba? If this case, line L, ayan, line L, and then point P. Yung point P, wala siya dun sa line L. Kumbaga, nakalabas siya dun sa line. Then, there is exactly one line. Nag-iisa lang yung line na magpapass through or tatama dun sa point that is parallel to the given line. And again, this is true for Euclidean geometry or yung ating high school geometry. Kasi when we study higher forms of mathematics, nakalagay dyan dun sa specificity o yung magiging condition para maging parallel sila or kung ilan man yung magiging parallel lines. Depende siya sa form ng geometry natin. So, yeah. Next, hindi ito parts. Again, hindi ito parts ng parallel lines. We just have annotation or dinedenote natin, tinatawag natin yung certain parts or certain figures when we draw parallel lines cut by a transversal. So ano ba yung transversal? It's the line that passes through the through parallel lines. And we form angles pag nag-cut siya ng transversal. And how many angles? We have a minimum of 8 kapag syempre meron tayong dalawang parallel lines. So in this case, we have the exterior. Nasaan yung exterior? Nasa labas. Or in this case, opposite sides of the parallel lines. Hindi sila nagtatama. While the interior is the one or the area between the lines. So yun yung ating clue. Pag sabi natin interior, between. And whatever else would be the exterior. So sila yung nasa labas natin. Next, we have the following relationship between the angles. Some of the angles are congruent. And ngayon, when we have parallel lines cut by a transversal, we could form corresponding angles. Ano yung corresponding angles? Again, ang corresponding angles ay, una, they are on the same side of the transversal. Kung nasa kaliwa si angle 1, tulad nito, yung corresponding sa kanya ay nasa kaliwa din. Kasi nga, nasa kaliwa siya ng transversal line. Next, ang clue natin for corresponding, exterior na siya, yung corresponding sa kanya is the one interior. Kaya nga sila tinatawag na corresponding because they have also the same measurement. In this case, 1 and 5 are congruent. Okay? So yun yung ating clues when determining corresponding angles. Yung parehas ng measurement given the parallel lines. Okay? So we have more. We have 4 pairs of corresponding angles. We have 1 and 5 here, 2 and 6, 3 and 7, and then 4 and 8. Pero syempre, nakadepende yun dun sa ating illustration or dun sa ating drawing na binigay for the parallel lines. Kasi syempre, pwede mag-iba-iba yung numbers or yung pangalan ng angle na ibibigay natin or ibibigay dun sa illustration. So, ito yung medyo marami-rami corresponding angles. Next, we have alternate interior angles. When you say alternate interior angles, una, nasa loob, between the parallel lines. Okay? Next, when we say alternate, they are on different sides of the transversal. Okay? So, ano yung ka-alternate interior ni angle 3? Given this illustration, it's angle 6. And what characteristic or description or property meron yung mga angles na yan? Alternate interior angles are congruent. So, parehas yung sukat ng angle 3 at angle 6. So, if we could say that this is 30 degrees, what is the measure of angle 6? So, ito lang din ay parehas kasi nga congruent sila. So, this should also be 30 degrees. Yan. Ngayon, isang pares pa lang yan ng alternate interior angles. How do we get the measure of the other one? So, alam natin na kapag line, the pair of adjacent or yung magkatabing angles, makakabuo tayo ng linear pair. At ang linear pair ay supplementary. So, when we add the measure of angle 3 and angle 4, 180. So, what will we add to 30 to get 180? So, subtract lang natin, no? 180 minus 30, that would be 150 degrees. So again, we are using our previous knowledge from the previous quarter, actually previous grade level din, na we subtract to get the angle that forms a linear pair with it. Next, ano ngayon yung measure ni angle 5? It will also be 150 degrees. They are alternate interior angles. And one of the properties is pareho yung sukat ng alternate interior. So, ganun nyo siya pwedeng isolve, no? Pwedeng you do it using one property or marami pa. So, mamaya we have exercises that will apply different properties at the same time or pwedeng isa lang ang gamitin pero masosolve natin siya totally. Okay? So next is we have alternate exterior angles. It's almost similar pero ang pinagkaiba, syempre, we have the term exterior. So it's outside. Okay? It's not in between the parallel lines. Okay? So alternate different sides of the transversal. Okay, so we have 1 congruent to 8 and then 2 congruent to 7. So, ito pa pala, no? When we draw parallel lines, syempre, ruler. Yun ang ginagamit natin. Pero we denote parallel lines or parallel segments with small arrowheads. Ito nakikita nyo na kinukulayan ko ngayon, na red magiging blue. Okay? Because some of the illustrations, mamaya, kunwari, ay sinerox yung papel. Okay? Sinerox yung papel. Tapos hindi naman naka-indicate doon yung ating tawag dito, yung ating parallel lines or yung arrows na nagsasabi ng parallel lines. So, kailangan naka-indicate yun para automatic, pag hindi kasi given yung parallel lines or yung parallel arrows na yan, we cannot assume that they are parallel. So, kailangan given siya sa illustration or given siya as a problem or given siya as a condition. So, yun yung importance ng tamang illustration or tamang pagdrawing ng parallel lines. And last, we have what we call the consecutive interior angles. Pwede natin din siyang tawagin na same side. Same side. Same side interior angles. Bakit siya tinatawag na same side interior angles? Kasi it's on the same side of the transversal. Yung angle 3 and angle 5 are both on the left side of the transversal. And then angle 4 and angle 6 are on the right side. But take note, no? They do not have or they do not always have congruent measures. Ang alam natin, they are supplementary. Bakit siya nasabi natin supplementary? Kasi tulad nga kanina, no? Kung alam natin na 30 degrees yung measurement ni angle 3, what would be the measure of angle 5? Okay? Kung hindi pa natin alam na supplementary sila. Okay? Based on kanina, alam natin that the alternate interior angles are congruent. Meaning, yung alternate sa kabila, tapos sa kabila ulit, dun sa isa pang parallel line, we have 30 degrees also. Ngayon, we know that these are linear pairs or this form a linear pair. So this should be 150 degrees. Okay, yung total nila is 180. So given the knowledge earlier, napatunayan natin that they will form supplementary angles. So yung total nitong dalawa is 180 degrees. Okay, so yun kasi yung ating pagpo-prove kung paano natin siya ipapakita na tama yung ating assumptions or yung tama yung ating properties. Okay? So we also have what we call consecutive exterior angles, pero we do not have actually some use of that yung consecutive interior ay, again, magagamit natin for future lessons in geometry, especially in quadrilaterals. So, tandaan, again gumagana lang ito when we have parallel lines and a transversal in that cuts them. Okay? So, let's have a quick activity. Tulad lang ito nung last week. So, given tayo ng lines J and K, which are parallel, cut by a line G, which is the transversal, find the angle measure of the following if measure of angle 8 is 125 degrees. So, meron tayong illustration dito and meron tayong isang given na measurement, which is 125 degrees. So, best thing to do is ilagay na natin siya dun sa drawing. So, this is 125 degrees. Now, masasagutan ba kagad natin yung measure ng angle 1? Let's kay angle 1. Tignan natin. Nasa interior yung angle 8. Si angle 1, nasa exterior. So again, this is the exterior, this is the interior, exterior. Okay? So ang relationship lang ng dalawa, kapag interior and exterior, must be corresponding. Kaya lang, kapag corresponding, they should be on the same side of the transversal. So, wala tayong masabing relationship between angle 1 and angle 8. So, kahit di natin unahin yan, may makukuha tayong measurement doon sa 7 na unknowns. Doon tayo sa, sa alam muna natin. Sa parehas. Okay? Alam natin that angle 8 and angle 6 are vertical angles. Bakit sila vertical? Kasi they share a vertex, then intersecting line sila, tapos opposite angle sila kung tutuusin from that vertex. Okay? So, angle 6 must also be 125 degrees. So, may sagot na tayo kay angle 6, 125 degrees. So, kahit di siya mauna, kahit hindi mauna yung angle 1, we could actually fill them up. Hindi nga lang in order, pero importante, alam natin yung reasons kung bakit siya pwedeng sabihin. So again, because angle 6 and angle 8 are vertical angles. And they are congruent kapag vertical angles. So may iba pa ba tayong masasagot na? Yes. Angle 8 and angle 2 are, again, angle 8 and angle 2. Angle 2 and angle 8 are alternate interior angles. Ibig sabihin, they have the same measurement. So, 125 degrees. Okay? So, I think you could see the pattern here. No? Kinukuha muna natin yung magkakaparehas ng measurement. Tapos, saka natin kukunin yung iba. So, in this case, ano pa kaya yung magiging pattern natin? So, if you could see, kung meron tayong alternate interior, meron din tayong alternate exterior. In the form of angle 6 and angle 4. So, angle 4 and angle 6 are so kung alternate exterior sila, that is also 125 degrees. So, nakuha na natin lahat ng 125 degrees actually. Kasi 4 na sets lang yan. Ngayon, how do we get the measure of angle 1? We know that angle 1 and angle 2 are linear pairs or form a linear pair. Ibig sabihin, the total of this one is 180 degrees. So magsusubtract lang tayo. 180 minus 125, that would be, again, 180 minus 125, that would be 0 minus 5, that would be negative. So palitan natin sila. So that is 10, 5, 55. So this would be 55 degrees. And we know that they are parallel. Meaning, yung natitirang tatlong angles will have the same measure. So angle 1 and angle 3, they are vertical angles. So that is 55 degrees. Angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding angles. So that would be 55 degrees. And angle 1 and angle 7 are alternate exterior angles. Kaya siya rin ay 55 degrees. So it's very easy when we have parallel lines kasi dalawa lang yung measurement natin na kukunin. And it will be, hanapin na lang natin yung ka-pattern niya based on the properties that we know. Okay? So I hope that you understood that topic. So ayan, no, tama sila Ram Haley Gafford and Rosalind Tuyan for the measurements. So ini-specify lang natin kung anong angles yung may measurement na yun. So let's proceed to the next one. Same question, pero walang binigay na measurement. So kung walang binigay na measurement, let's see the figure. So take note that they are parallel. Okay? Yung binigay na measurement, no? Pero we have here a square corner. Okay? We have here a square corner. Ano ibig sabihin ng square corner na yan? When we have that, ang ibig sabihin nun is the segments or the lines form a right angle. Okay? So yung right angle na yun may measurement. So technically, we are given a value. Ano yung value na yun? Right angles measure 90 degrees. So 90 degrees yung ating angle na yan. So what else do we know? Pag meron tayong 90 degree corner or angle when two lines intersect. Okay? So yung 90 degrees na yan, dahil vertical angle siya dito sa angle 6, we know na 90 degrees din ito. Okay? Next, dahil linear pair, yung angle 5 and angle 6, this is also 90 degrees. Okay? And dahil nga linear pair din sila, and actually vertical yung 5 and 7, we have 90 degrees also here. Ayan, sabi ni Ram, J is parallel to K. Then since there is a right angle, the angles formed are 90 degrees due to perpendicularity. Ayun yung term na gagamitin natin to describe this. The transversal is actually perpendicular rather. Again, the transversal is actually perpendicular to the lines. So kung yung parallel sila, ibig sabihin, parallel nga, no? Ibig sabihin may magkakaparehas, magkakahawig. So ito rin ay mga 90 degrees. Ay, nawala. So this would be 90 degrees also. So everything is 90 degrees. So sulat lang natin ng mabilis. Again, this only works kapag una, parallel yung lines. Pangalawa, perpendicular si transversal. So again, we have conditions bago natin masabi na ganito yung kanila measurement. Okay? So Let's define or recall the definition of perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines are lines that form 90-degree angles or right angles. So, hindi lang lines yung pwede maging perpendicular, pwede ring rays, pwedeng segments. Kasi nga subset sila ng line. And what else do we know kapag meron tayong two intersecting lines na nag-form ng 90 degrees? So, they could form four right angles. Ito lang ay kapag nag-intersect yung dalawang lines. Kasi, when we have perpendicular segments, pwedeng ganito lang sila. A letter L. Tapos noted by a right angle. Isa lang yung nabuo. So, kapag lines nag-intersect, apat yung mabubuo natin. Kapag lines is either one, pwedeng dalawa, okay? Pwede ring apat. Pero hindi pwedeng maging tatlo kasi syempre may mabubuo na tayong isa pang angle based on the segments. Okay? So hindi lahat ng pagkakataon apat yung mabubuo natin. So how can lines or segments be parallel or perpendicular? First, we can prove using the definition, the postulate, and the theorems. So yung definition ng parallel na they do not intersect and perpendicularity na binigay natin kanina, and the postulates and theorems or actually properties, yung corresponding, yung gamitin to prove na parallel yung lines natin. For perpendicular is usually the measurement or the definition yung pagpuprove. And last, and second, we could determine the measurements to support claims of parallel and perpendicular lines or segments. So nakadepende syempre dun sa ating measurement kung ano yung lalabas na kung parallel ba sila or hindi. So let's have the second wave of the activities. Ayan. Find the value of x so that the lines M and N are parallel. So given ito yung line M and this is line N. Okay? So first of all, kung makikita nyo sa illustration, mukhang hindi sila parallel. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, no? We cannot assume that the lines are parallel kung hindi naman siya sinabi na parallel. Okay? Dahil kailangan nating ipakita or hanapin actually the value of x kung saan magiging parallel yung dalawang lines. Ayun yung translation nung question. Hanapin yung value or yung halaga nung nawawalang variable para yung dalawang lines maging parallel. Tansyahin natin ano ba yung tamang angle para makuha yung measurement na yan. So, pakita muna natin na parallel sila using the arrowheads na magpapakita ng parallelism. So how could we solve this problem? Ano bang alam natin sa parallel lines? Okay? Take note, given tayo rito ng square corner. Okay? At yung square corner na yan, it means we have a right angle. And the right angle measures 90 degrees. Makakatulong ba yan dun sa pagkuha natin na measurement nung or value nung x? Yes, syempre, definitely makakatulong yan. Alam na natin na parallel yung dalawang lines. So, itong 130, okay, congruent yan doon sa alternate interior. nasaan yung alternate interior nung kabilang eh. So, in such problems, we should look or observe. Alin ba dyan yung importante? Okay? So, dito sa 130, it is congruent to this angle. Bakit itong angle na yan? Again, no, observe. Kung mawawala yung side na ito, ayan, kung mawawala yung side na iyan, yung kabuuan ng angle na yon would be the alternate interior. At dahil 90 na yung isang part, we could get the value of x by just subtracting. Okay? So we have here x plus 90, kasi nga yung kabuuan would be equal to 130 degrees. By the subtraction property of equality, we have x equals 130 minus 90, and we will have here x equals 40 degrees. Okay? So, ganoon siya isolve. Using, what we use is alternate interior angle theorem. Okay? Kasi nga alternate interior angle sila. May magagamit pa ba tayong ibang way para ma-solve yung problem? Kasi sa sobrang dami ng properties ng parallel lines cut by a transversal, there are definitely other solutions to solve this problem. So try natin. So we still have the first problem, ibahin lang natin yung solution. So alam na natin that this would be 40. Yung sagot is 40. Pero ipakita natin in another solution. Okay? Alam na rin natin that this is 90 degrees. Okay? So what else could we do? Alam natin na parallel yung lines. Lines M and lines N. Wala tayong nakikitang exterior angle. So hindi natin magagamit yung exterior angle. Hindi rin natin magagamit yung corresponding angles kasi nga dapat yung isa interior, yung isa exterior. So, ano pa kaya yung magagamit natin? Okay? We could use also the consecutive interior or the same side interior angles. So, makukuha natin itong measurement na ito. Let's say y. Okay? Anong alam natin kapag parallel yung lines? What could be the measurement nung consecutive interior angles? Alam natin na they are supplementary. So we have here 130 plus y equals solve for y. Y is equal to 180 minus 130, which is 50. Okay, so alam na natin 50 ito. Okay? Pero hindi naman yan yung hinahanap. Ang hinahanap natin is the other angle, yung nasa kaliwa. So how could we use this measurement given na yung kukunin natin is the value of x? Okay? So tulad kanina, pwede natin kunin yung buo. We know that the line or the angle measure ng line is 180 degrees. So para makuha natin yung isang part, we subtract. So 180 minus 50 plus plus 90. Ayan. That would be the value of x. Pagsamahin muna natin yung 50 tsaka yung 90. So that would be 140. So 180 minus 140 is the value of x. So x is equal to 40 or 40 degrees. So that's one other way to solve for this problem. So kanina si Ram, Gafood, ang ginamit niya yung alternate interior angle. Ngayon, ang ginamit natin is the same side interior angle or the SSIA property. Usually yun yung ating pinapaliwanag, same side interior angle. Theorem siya actually or property. Sabi ni Rosalind Tuyan, 90 minus 50 is equal to 40 degrees. Actually, yes. Kasi dahil 90 na ito, we could assume na yung x plus y is equal to 90 degrees also, or the sum of those. Pero ingat lang, no, kasi mamaya iba yung measurement dun sa gitna, yun na magamit yung sukat or yun yung magamit yung number. So, mas maganda kung kumpleto yung reason kung paano nyo kukunin yung measurement. So, kinuha natin siya from the line, from the 180 degrees. Tsaka natin paparti-partihin. Okay, so that's the second way to solve this problem. Okay, there's actually a third way na hindi gagamit nung consecutive interior angles, pero gagamit ulit tayo na alternate interior, pero it's another way to solve. Okay, so this is the last solution for this one. So alam natin na triangle sila. We have what we call the exterior angle theorem. What does this say? Yung exterior angle, so this one, 130, is equal to the sum, so may i-add tayo, of the remote interior angles. When you say remote interior angles, yun na yung hindi niya katabi. Yung katabi niya is called adjacent. When you say remote, yung malayo. So this one 90, and then let's say this is y. Okay? So alam na natin na 90 degrees yun. Then we have y. So how do we solve for y? We just subtract. Y is equal to 130 minus 90, and we will get 40. Yan na ba yung sagot? Tingnan natin. We know that they should be parallel. Meaning, this angle is congruent to this angle. Kasi they are alternate interior angles. Meaning, x is equal to y. So, ibig sabihin, x is equal to 40. Okay? We use another property or theorem na hindi masyadong related sa parallel lines, pero it still gives us the same answer. And correct pa rin yung logic. Kaya naman yung importante sa math eh. Sa ibang paraan mo man makuha yung sagot, okay? Pero tama pa rin dapat yung paglarason or yung dahilan kung paano mo nakukuha yung final answer. So this is one of the ways parallel lines and the transversal. Okay? So kuha tayo ng mas mahirap na problem. Ayan. So line L and M. So ito siya, line L and line M are cut by a transversal T. So this one. Then they form angles with the indicated measurements. Find x such that L is parallel to M. Again, no, we do not assume parallelism. Kasi pwedeng iba-iba yung sukat niya or iba-iba yung angulo ba ng bawat isa. So, there is one instance kung saan sila magpa-parallel. Kasi nga tulad kanina nung sinabi, no, exactly one line parallel to the other line. So, meron lang isang instance. And what would be the value of x given that na parallel sila? Okay? So, kung parallel sila, kahit na hindi mukha dun sa drawing, again, no, meron tayong symbol na ginagamit para masabi na parallel. We know that these two are congruent. Bakit? Congruent yan because they are alternate exterior angles. Dalawang angles. So we have 3x plus 8 equal to 5x minus 2. Okay? What could be the value of x? So, linear equation na lang siya. Kung maglilipat-lipat na lang tayo ng terms para makuha natin yung final answer. So, mas maganda no kung yung x would be positive para hindi na tayo mag-divide pa by a negative number kasi medyo nakakalito siya minsan. So, dahil mas malaki yung 5, ilipat na lang sa kanan with variables. So, we will have here 5x. Pag lumipat yung positive 3x, tandaan, pag lumilipat ng kabilang part ng equation, pinapalitan natin yung sign. So, this would be positive 3x will become negative 3x. Yung 8, hindi lilipat. So, it's still the same. Then, minus 2, we could treat that as negative 2. Pag lumipat ng side ng equation, that would be positive 2 or plus 2. So, we could solve 8 minus 3x. That is 2x. Okay? Kailan? So, we just divide by the coefficient. So, divide natin by 2. So, we will have 5 equals x or x equals 5. So, x lang naman yung hinahanap rito, no? Hindi na hinahanap yung value ng measurement of the angle. We just substitute. So here, 5 times 5 minus 2. 5 minus 2 is 3. Oh, parang... okay. 5 times 5 minus 2.
Sigurado ako na marami ka na namang natutuhan sa ating ETUlay tutorial session ngayong araw. Tandaan, ito ay hindi lamang para sa ating mga mag-aaral, kundi pati rin sa ating mga minamahal na guro at mga magulang na kaagapay natin para maituloy ang pagkatuto sa kabila ng nararanasang pandemya. Patuloy ding sumubaybay sa DepEd TV para sa mga araling ginawang video episodes. Mapapanood ito mula Lunes hanggang Sabado, alas 7 ng umaga hanggang alas 7 ng gabi sa inyong mga telebisyon. Abangan sa Lunes mula 1:00 ng tanghali ang iba pang aralin sa ating ETUlay free online tutorial session sa Science. I-like and subscribe at manatiling nakasubaybay sa ating ETUlay tutorial session sa DepEd Edtech Unit FB page at Educational Technology Unit channel sa YouTube at sa DepEd Tayo at DepEd Philippines social media accounts. Paalam!
Cognizant to the needs of our learners, parents, and teachers, the Department of Education provided us with powerful tools for productivity that will allow us to foster critical thinking skills, problem-solving skills, communication and collaboration skills to be compassionate, responsible global citizens. Join us and discover new ideas in our series of professional development training program with the ICTS Edtech Unit and Microsoft Education Philippines. Together, we will equip our learners and empower our fellow educators for a dynamic future. Para sa bata, para sa bayan, at para sa guro. Sulong Edukalidad.